trading should be boring. All the boring shit what people say you actually are supposed to do that. You do need a real job as a basis for trading because without it, you are in fight or flight mode all the time.
This is Matis, a day trader with 10 years of skin in the game. 8 months ago, he signed up with us, and now he's walking away with a solid payout of $10,560. No shortcuts, no luck, just skill, precision, and discipline. Let's dive into how he dominates the market.
All right, well, welcome everyone. Today we're interviewing another successful trader. If you don't mind, just give us a brief introduction, how long you've been trading, how'd you start in this funny but rewarding business?
Well, long story short, basically been interested in doing trading for about 10 years. Lots of breaks in between to just earn money. Yeah, it's always been a real struggle, but since the advent of prop firms, it's been a huge help with improving my trading skills, because the risk management was the thing that really destroyed my trading. Now that the prop firms have those strict risk rules, it really bent me into a more consistent trader. So since 2021, I started trading on props, and now, 3 years in now, it's finally giving some return.
Oh, well, that's funny that you say that, because you get a lot of heat for all the rules that we set, especially newbies and novice traders. They don't understand that these rules are not only for us, but for them as well. Because without structure, without discipline, especially novice traders, they don't have any parameters, and that's how they get in trouble most of the time. What they don't understand is it's not that you're going to be blowing up accounts every single trade, but it just takes one trade to blow it up. And they don't happen every day, but they happen often enough to lose their account, right? So I'm sure as you've been in this business for almost a decade or whatever, or 10 years, you've seen that happen. So with the risk parameters, you're becoming more successful. Not only that, I assume it also, prop business gives you capital, so you don't have to risk as much. So you don't have to turn $1,000 into $10,000 essentially, or $10,000 into $1 million. If you don't mind me saying, obviously, asking what kind of style of trading have you identified that helped you the most? Because you, as you mentioned, you do have a job, and we actually recommend for a lot of people to not quit their jobs and actually have a little bit of a capital aside, because when you don't have to worry about how to pay your rent, it's a lot easier for your brain, for your psyche, for your emotional state management to trade in a more cold, logical manner rather than being in the fight or flight when you have to pay your rent the next day, right? So how'd you get to the funded trading stage having another job?
Right. You're absolutely on point there, because you do need a real job as a basis for trading, because without it, you are in fight or flight mode all the time. So what I used to do was go and work for 3, 4, 6 months, maybe save some money, and then put it into trading and living expenses. But after a while, I realized that's completely unsustainable, because you can't go on these on and off. And therefore, I went to actually a university, got a degree, started working within that, so I could have a decent job, decent income, and then finally on the side do trading and learn that. All the boring shit what people say you actually are supposed to do that. So
yeah.
There's no shortcuts. There's not going to be any kind of miracles that you're going to discover ICT and it's going to quit your job in 90 days and all these slogans that he puts out. So
a lot of that's one of the biggest things, is actually erroneous expectations. And whenever I tell new traders that it takes a few years of getting kicked out of you by markets, and it's a very not exciting. It's exciting when in the beginning, because you're learning something, but once you become a professional, you shouldn't be in an excited state to trade. And you do have to do a lot of, like any other job, you do have a lot of boring things. And number one thing that nobody ever does is, for example, keep trading journals. A lot of people who are especially struggling over getting to profitability, they don't identify what their mistakes are. It's boring to take a picture, screenshot, document, write it down for every single trade, because a lot of novice traders just want to smash that button, buy, sell, sell, sell. And they think they're the next Warren Buffett or whatever, some Wall Street trader. And essentially they're just doing random stuff and and eventually it leads to a blown account. Right. So doing boring stuff and doing step by step, all the stuff that everybody talks about is actually, and just like in sports, right? Everybody wants to shoot in basketball, the 3-point shots. Nobody wants to do the layup shots, for example, right? And every single greatest coach ever lived always say the same thing. It's fundamentals, basic. And you do it on repeat a billion times. And that's how then you get to the 3-point shots, not vice versa, where everybody wants to be a superstar within 60 days. And then the Ferraris and the Lambos in Miami and all that lifestyle without even putting any, they think that 60 days worth of work is a lot of work, but it's not. So it takes a little while. And it's funny, once you actually stop being pressured into extracting money out of the markets, it's when the markets start giving you the money. So this is where I guess that's kind of happened with you when you went to, you got your degree, you're working, now you're trading on the side and supplementing your income. So we have different scenarios. We do have different traders. We have full-time traders who went the other way and they're successful. But so everybody has to find their own way of doing it, because we all have different responses to emotional stresses and how we arrange our lives. So the having a job and having less stress, worrying about basic Maslow hierarchy of needs, right? Food, shelter. Once it's covered, you can actually be in a more relaxed state, and that's when you can trade better. So how do you trade at specific hours? Do you trade intraday, or do you just take longer time frame approaches? How do you do it?
Basically, my only interest ever has been to be a day trader, because I can't swing trade, because trading should be boring, but also there should be some kind of a calling or something. I don't know what suits my kind of soul, and that really drives me, because the competitiveness and to be on point every day is something that really makes me a better trader and a better person in general in life. So that's why day trading is really helps me grow and become a better person in general. So that's what I do, day trade every day.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you actually touched on the subject. And we all have different personalities and we all different psyches, and some people prefer a little more slower but laid back approach of swing trading. Some people want to be in day trade and minimize their exposure time in the markets, because the longer you are in the market, the more risk you're taking because of various factors happening. And when I say that more trading has to be boring, it doesn't equivocate to being without a passion. So obviously you're passionate about trading, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. And you should be passionate of what you're doing. It's just minutia thing. You shouldn't be excited excited in the casino sense of the what would be one lesson that you learned, one of the few things that you could advise to younger or more novice traders, I would rather say? What kind of advice would you give to more novice and people who are entering this business now?
I actually have two things. First, you obviously need education. You obviously need exposure to knowledge. You obviously need to see what the hell is ICT about. You need to understand what's that mindset. What is trendline trading? What is support resistance rate? Any kind of Renko charts. I can actually any kind of system that's out there. I feel you have to be exposed to them all. Otherwise, you're not gonna know the landscape of what trading is all about, because there's all these nooks and crannies within the trading systems and approaches that if you just stick to one way of thinking, you're never going to expand your mind or see how the market looks from different angles and
what works for you specifically.
And then obviously it's worthwhile to spend some time with a mentor or mentorship. Even though so many of them are scams now, you just have to spend time and find a good one, and just see what they teach, how they trade. Try to verify their actual returns if possible, and also even if what they're teaching are is completely insane, you just try it on a demo account and see for yourself. With that being said, do not neglect your own brain, because I was trying to, the switch happened around 9 months ago, 10 months ago, where I was taking another mentorship, reading another book, doing all this shit. I realized why the hell I would spend so much time trying to learn what some person online is saying, how the market should be traded, when I already have gone through so many years of accumulating knowledge. I realized I just needed to stop listening to anybody. I have my bucket is full up here, and I feel like I thought to myself, I should be smart enough now to actually combine it into some sort of understanding and some sort of system myself to be able to trade. And when I stopped, listening to any other post on Instagram or X I see regarding trading, I just scroll past it as fast as I can. I don't want any other new ideas from others in my own head, because now I have, developed sort of my own understanding of the markets, and I don't want anybody to come in here to just try to mess with it.
That's actually that's funny that you say that, because every single successful trader goes through that. They first absorb all the knowledge like a sponge. Then comes a moment in time where they're still following people, and they start noticing that my own thought was correct. And when I follow somebody else instead of, for example, what happened with me, I was on the trading floor at a prop firm. I was still young, but I would know what we would talk shop, and so I know who's trading what and their positions. And some senior guys who were in the 50s, they for example, they were long Eurodollar at some whatever price, right? And I was thinking I want to go short, and I basically didn't go short because I knew these senior guys are long in it. And then I see them lose and lose and lose, and I'm like, why the fuck am I being scared? I'm right even now. So fuck these guys. Follow your own, and that's what happened. Eventually, you have enough self-confidence to take the trading wheels off, and you go and that's just how you become a funded trader, and you start making money on this. And the way it happens is usually, again, that's why it takes time to get to that stage, because you have to first absorb all the knowledge. There'll be a lot of nonsense in this business. There'll be a lot of ICTs even though there's a lot of controversy around him, he still gives valid advice. And that's why you shouldn't be, this is not a black and white type of environment. Yeah, there will be a lot of
absolutely not
trying to scam you, but they also dish out a lot of good advice, and it's your job to just accumulate a shit ton of it and put together your own system. And then once you become confident, and it takes a lot of trial there. That's where you can be trading this style and that style. Again, to put your own system and become profitable on your own, where you stand on your own 2 feet. It's a bittersweet type of thing, because when you go through a year worth of experimentation, it's still exciting because you have to be passionate about this business. Otherwise, why the fuck you're in it? You're not going to sustain long enough to become profitable. And that's Steve Jobs basically said, unless you're passionate about what you're doing, you're going to have to be insane to withstand that type of abuse. And the markets will abuse you, or whatever, or entrepreneurial business will abuse you, whatever, right? So to withstand the barrage of abuse over the X amount of months and years, and then put together, it takes passion. And once you arrive to the promised land, where after you've accumulated all the data, after you've chewed through a lot of what works, what doesn't work, there will be a click moment where you finally say, oh, actually, you start trusting yourself. You no longer have to be afraid, and you can press that button with confidence. Even if you lose or win or lose, doesn't matter, but you know that you're doing the right thing. And that's a beautiful thing when you see that click happen. And that happens every successful trader that I know. It happens sooner or later. It does happen. Just your job is to power through the moments and get to that moment. And it seems to me that you've arrived to it 9 months ago. So congratulations. And I thank you for coming on to the show today. Again, welcome on board to the funded stage. And hopefully we can do a follow-up interview in the future. Here's to your success. Thank you for coming on. And
no problem.
We'll speak soon.
Thank you.